Hi there. If you're coming to Sri Lanka and you want some helpful tips and tricks on how not to exploit us and how not to be a complete piece of neo-colonial trash, this one's for you. Let me give you a quick primer to help you along the way. Sri Lanka is a majority Buddhist country with Hindus, Muslims, and Christians living in harmony. We were colonized for over 450 years, so if you're British, Dutch, or Portuguese, you owe some money. Yeah, that's right, Dutch and Portuguese travelers. We were a colony of yours, but you never learned that in the books. We used to have a civil war for over 25 years, and we've only come out of it 15 years ago. We also collapsed the dynastical and corrupt system 2 years ago after that dynastical system collapsed our economy to the ground. We may be one of the most hospitable and nicest people on earth, but we won't shy away from a fight if you wrong us. 525 years of oppression is enough. And we don't need your shit again. First of all, if you're looking for another Bali, go to Bali. Because your lack of knowledge in geography is really embarrassing your country. When you come to our country, you need to abide by its laws, just as we would in your country. So if you just come to Sri Lanka to rave, I think you got the wrong country. I think you're thinking of Thailand or Goa. We have an amazing rave culture on the beaches, but you're really screwing it up now. When you go to a rave or a party, just ask yourself first, is it in a neighborhood or not? I wish things were different, but we have problems in our country. Raves aren't organized in the same way it would be in Australia or in Europe. Because remember, we just went through a financial collapse. So if somebody can make a quick buck by throwing a rave, they'll throw a rave in a church. Actually, I've been to a rave in a church, but that was in the Netherlands. Remember, you're not going to the Netherlands, you're going to Sri Lanka. And Sri Lankans are generally more conservative and a little bit religious. And that takes me to the second advice. Be conscious and mindful of the culture and the religion. As you would be in any other country. Like if you go to Thailand, you will be conscious of the Buddhist culture and the nature in Thailand. Capish? You don't enter a temple or a masjid in shorts or with flip-flops on. You take them off. I mean the flip-flops, not your shorts. You actually need to wear something longer when you go to a religious place. I don't make the rules. If you go to a cute cafe or a yoga sala, you want to ask a simple question. Who's surrounding you? Who's around you? Are they just white people? Isn't that a red flag? You are in a predominantly brown country. So everybody who surrounds you and sitting around you or doing yoga around you are white. That should be a red flag. Look, it's true that a lot of these places are not frequented by the local. But then you need to ask, why would that be the case? If you think everybody in Sri Lanka is that poor, get your head out of your ass. It's one of three things. One, it's just in a hotel or like where tourists would be. That's fine. You're okay. But most commonly what will happen is that place is unaffordable to locals. And that's done to exploit you. That excludes the locals, but also exploits you. You can choose to pay the same amount you would do in your own country, but you're fucking with our economy and you're excluding my people. It's still legal. You can still do it. Then you're not very much different from your ancestors. Third reason, we're not allowed to go there. You may not know this, but a lot of these establishments don't allow brown people to go inside these establishments. And your ignorance and this colonial attitude to travel is ruining our countries. It's making it worse. So really think where you are and also in which context you are. Are you paying 500 or 1,000 rupees for a kilometer on a tuk-tuk? You're screwing my economy because we're not allowed to go in those tuk-tuks because why would they? They can just exploit you. Are you going to a cafe and paying $10 for a fruit bowl from Instagram? First of all, if you just wanted to eat the same thing that you ate back in home from Instagram, why are you even traveling? Second of all, that fruit bowl should have been under $1,000 all the way as I speak in 2025, January. If you're young and you're a backpacker, I'm sure you want to go surfing down south in our country. We got some amazing surf and those surf instructors, man, are they hot. Maybe the last person to police who you fall in love, but also understand there's a whole industry surrounding beach boys, they're called beach boys, who quite often drop out of school so they can get a white girl and go to Europe or Australia or whatever. Obviously, some people fall in love and they genuinely have really good lives. But on the flip side, there's a lot of exploitation. The first type of exploitation is direct. It's the beach boy exploiting the white girl. Just because the boys in your country were bland doesn't mean these boys will be your savior. After the love bombing period is over, you may want to help him out with some cash, maybe with a passport. Instead of a ring, he may get you pregnant to really seal the deal. So really think about what you're doing. The other side of fetishization is not new to us. We are very used to being fetishized. But when you come to a country looking for a chunk of dick, you're not so different from the old British women going to Ghana and exploiting those men. Or the sad American passport bros who go to Thailand or Philippines looking for a wife. The only difference is you're younger and you're broke. Look, I'm going to piss off a lot of my friends who are also surf instructors and also know that not all beach boy is a surf instructor or vice versa. And I also personally know a lot of people who've generally fallen in love and actually lead amazing lives, but just know that this is the context of the country and the background. To be honest, this is not really our concern. Our concern is like you taking out kids indirectly from schools and put it in these industries. And guess what? Some of these boys are married with kids. You'll not know this until it's too late. There are a lot of young boys dropping out of school just because they think they can get out of their financial misery by hooking up with a European girl. And then migrate into Europe or Australia or the US. You may think this is not you, but understand how demand and supply works. So fetishize away, but this is what you're doing. Just as we're not Indonesia or Bali, we are not India. We can deceptively look the same, but we're not the same. Completely different culture, completely different norms and way of looking at life. And if you just came from Southeast Asia or India or Nepal, just know that we're not that cheap. I mean, as people, we're not that cheap, but as a country, we're not that cheap. Our median incomes are way higher than these countries. But anyways, our quality and expectations in the country for tourism is very different. We have amazing and affordable hotels and guest houses throughout the country. If you're expecting to pay $5 or $10 and expect the same thing you saw on Instagram, you're delulu. If you pay $5, that's what you're gonna get. Don't complain afterwards. If your idea of traveling in Sri Lanka consists of these places only, you have a problem. Galle, Hirikatiya, Alla, Anuradhapura, Sigiriya, Polonnaruwa, Kandy. Yeah, these are nice places to visit. Our country is dotted with shit that's interesting everywhere. Imagine India, Bali, and Thailand put together in a very small package. So go out of these places, which tend to be very touristy, and find something that is exciting and new and authentic. You'll finally be able to experience the authentic Sri Lankan life from a very different point of view. And I will guarantee you it will be cheaper, and also you'll be helping out the economy in these needy areas. And talking about touristy places, if you're taking the train from Kandy to Ella or vice versa, you need to know that this is a historical train line that was serving very underprivileged people in the hill country. A very, very marginalized people brought over by the British just to pick leaves all their day, backbreaking work, for absolute scholar, till to this day. When you crowd these trains and try to recreate that Instagram photo, you're really screwing up our system. We understand we need to increase capacity as a country and serve you more, but at the same time, understand we can't do everything in 1 year just because you decided to come to our country because it's the new Bali. Try to avoid the busy times, busy periods, holidays, and try to go around the time that's when locals are not traveling as much. And I would reckon you'll actually end up having a much better time because the train will be actually enjoyable and it will serve the people and not burden them. Our whale and dolphin safaris are sometimes handled very questionably, so be mindful of that. It's been part of our economy, but be mindful that you're not going to always see whales just because you went on a whale safari. And if you put that pressure, what you're doing is exploiting those animals and disturbing their habitat. Currently, under no circumstances are you allowed to swim with whales or dolphins. That sounds cool, but you're also a horrible person. Only marine biologists are allowed with a permit to do this. If you're a scuba diver, you might get lucky, but that's very different. Our people are very nice. They will most likely allow you to record them, but you need to be responsible while you do that. Lots of people don't know their rights, so if you're doing this for some quick views, you're shameful. Oh, and if you're down south and you do drugs while you rave, you need to understand the context behind it. You're contributing to a thriving and growing underworld that's been creating a lots of problems for the local. Every time you buy a pill, you're being party to someone being unalive in some part of the country. So party, but responsibly. This is true for every country. Oh, and one more. You don't get close to elephants. You do not get close to wild animals. An elephant is swaying from left to right like a cute maniac or like putting its tusk everywhere. It's not trying to be cute, it's trying to attack you. If you're at the back of a vehicle and an elephant is coming to attack you, calm down, shut the fuck up, right? The driver most likely knows what to do. And if he doesn't, you definitely don't know what to do. These people have done this a million times, just trust them. You shouting is only gonna make things worse. Elephants look cute, but they're dangerous, just like monkeys. I know this sounds like a very negative welcome to a country, but if you just try to be a good human being, I think you're gonna have a fantastic time. Don't do the same mistakes that your ancestors did. Be better. And check out the comment section. You'll get a vibe of other issues and similar issues in the country. Welcome to Sri Lanka.